Hey YouTube, today I'm going to show you how to make the perfect Southern cheese grits souffle. Alright, so we made grits a few minutes ago, so if you need to, hop over and take a look at the video on how to make perfect Southern creamy grits. Please ignore my cat in the background. We've got those grits right here, and I wanted to share with you how both of my, well, no, one of my Aunt Betty's made cheese grits, because this was kind of funny. I had two Aunt Betty's. Yep, I had two Aunt Betty's. One was my great aunt, one was my dad's sister. So one was born in 1926, and the other one was born in, I want to say 1888-ish. Okay, so these are the ladies of that age. That's what we're talking about when Kelly and I were little girls in the 70s. And the younger Aunt Betty, who was plain Aunt Betty would bring cheese grits to things, and everybody would always say, these are good, but they're not as good as Bettye Bell's. And Bettye Bell was the elder of the two Aunt Bettys. And one day when she was much, much older, Aunt Betty looked at her and said, you know, I don't know what it is, but my cheese grits just never turn out as good as yours do. And Aunt Bettye Bell looked up and said, well, of course not, dear. I didn't tell you how I really do them. One of my favorite stories. I love that. That was very much a Southern woman thing. She's not going to tell you how to really do it because yours can't be better than hers. Well, I'm going to show you how they really did it, okay? So we're going to start out with a batch of grits. Okay, so this was 4 cups of liquid and 1 cup of the grits that went into this batch. So I don't know how much I've got here, but it would have been whatever liquid displacement happened while all that was going on. To this, while it's hot, and this is still pretty hot, I have 2 eggs that I've beaten up and 2 cups of cheddar cheese. Now, neither one of my Aunt Betty's used blue cheese. I just happen to like it. You can use another ½ cup to a cup of cheddar. You can use some Parmesan. You can use mozzarella if you want it really gooey. But you want about 2½ to 3 cups of cheese, and most of it should be cheddar. So if you want a little of the other one, that's fine. But Southern cheese grits needs to be cheddar, right? And our warm grits going over the top of that. And that'll start melting those cheeses down. We're going to stir the fire out of this in a minute. I'm surprised I didn't get a comment from Ricky. All right, here's our seasonings.
There were several in my head.
These were they? Yeah. So my sister's here, so we got the live audience going on today. All right, so I've got about 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder, about 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of granulated garlic, and about 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Go easy on the kosher salt because you have the grits, which we seasoned when we cooked them. There's some salt going on in the sausage that we're going to use in a minute, and there's some salt going on in the cheeses. So you really don't want much here. This is where less is more. And how many did I use? 3 cloves of garlic? Yeah. I think Aunt Bettye Bell only used 1 or 2. I'd be surprised if plain Aunt Betty used any. We like garlic. Okay, so you're just folding this all together. And back here behind me, I have my oven set to 350 degrees. And in the casserole dish, I've got a lump of blue cheese. Hang on a minute. Okay. Over here in the casserole dish, I've got a pound of bulk sausage that I just browned up. You can use it from the grocery store. You can buy commercial grade. My oven's ready. Whatever you want. Homemade if you want to make homemade. My hat would be off to you. I have and do sometimes make sausage, but not on a very regular basis. So if you're doing that, good for you. All right, this is funny. So I'm from the Appalachian South, right? And for a while, I call it my ex out years, for a while I was living in Seattle. And I went to a potluck. I didn't know any better. I took this casserole dish, and it got scarfed up in no time. And I had people come and going, what was that wonderful souffle? Oh my gosh, your souffle. And I said, oh, that's just cheese grits. And it was like, as soon as I said the word grits, everybody was like, lovely, dear, and just kind of melted away. So everybody wanted to know what it was until they found out what it was. Ricky, that reminds me of you with the dirty rice. He did eating dirty rice all his life until I told him that it was full of gizzard and liver. And then he decided he didn't like dirty rice. Okay, this is all you do to it. Now, This is not really a souffle. Nobody ever called it souffle until I moved out to Seattle and everyone wanted to ask about this wonderful cheesy souffle, right? It's cheese grits. However, the eggs in there are going to cause it to puff and we're going to get some browning on it. And that's when you know it's done. I'm going to give my guess at 30 to 45 minutes, 350-degree oven. However, I've noticed recently my oven needs to be recalibrated, so I'm going to go sketchy on the time. Start with 30, take a peek. If it's not done, come back, okay? So this is going to go in the oven, and I will come back and show you what it's supposed to look like when it's had enough time. Really.
I wasn't filming. Now I am.
Still was not lovely.
Now I am.
Ricky's making fun of my choice of music. I was listening to Mark Wills do 1980 something. So if y'all, that's what I was listening to. And I was singing, I was doing it well too. So, alright. So, I actually had to run pick up Joe from school. So Kelly pulled these out, and it was right at 45 minutes. And they've had a minute to rest. So initially, hey Bladen, just walking in from school. Initially, it puffed up a bit, and then as it's cooled down, it sinks pretty much immediately. But this is what it looks like. I love this stuff. This was on every holiday table throughout my childhood. And it is so incredible. Cheesy and garlicky, and the sausage. Oh, Boudin sneezing. Can you get him? Boudin is my dog. Okay, so if you want to know how to make for real, honest, 5th generation recipe, Southern cheese grits. This right here is how you do it. And there isn't a better recipe on the planet. So if this has helped you, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Find me on Pinterest and Twitter and Facebook. And Boudin wants some cheese grits. We're also on a Patreon, and both of the cookbooks are now on the Amazon store. So just Google, just hit Jan Charles in the space bar, and you'll find me. Happier holidays and ground beef recipes. So cheese grits, real Southern deal.
Quiet on the set.
Do you mean me?
Yeah,
Quiet
I
on
mean
the
you.
set.
Shut up. You're not allowed to talk.
Why am I standing here like an old woman?
Filming.
Are we
Wait,
good to go now,
wait.
Ricky?
No, we're not.
Okay.
No.
No.
Okay, no.
Did you say okay now or okay no?
You said no, and I said okay, no.
So is it now?
We're filming.
Okay.